Let's get it. Today we're talking about the #1 launchpad on the Binance Smart Chain called BSCPAD. This is the third episode in this series where we are trying to find the best launchpad, so let's go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Cabin. My name is Tom, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Binance Smart Chain launchpad, BSCPAD. If you're new to this channel, please scroll on down, leave this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and then click that notification bell and select all so you get notified for when I post these new videos. Without any further ado, let's jump right in. So this is the third episode of this series where we are talking about all these different launchpads. This one, BSCPAD, is the primary one on the Binance Smart Chain, where I believe they are exclusive to projects that are launched on the Binance Smart Chain. We can see the current price is roughly $1.60. So we have that right there. The base level allocation is 1,000 BSCPAD. That gets you one lottery ticket, and that is approximately $1,600. So pretty similar to what it was for pools. And then the guaranteed allocation here, however, is quite different. So instead of $43,000 with pools, it's $16,000. So still a pretty good chunk of change, of course, but that is by far the most reasonable one so far for a guaranteed allocation. There are some other requirements as well. If you are not guaranteed a allocation, you would need to do some things on Twitter where you would get whitelisted for them. I believe it's like, retweet, and comment or something like that. And then you would also need to make sure that you are staking at least 3 hours before the allocation opens. Sorry, that should say 3 hours. Alright, so here we are on BSCPAD.com. You can go ahead, obviously, and read all about it, but they have a tiered system. So here you can see the BSCPAD is a fixed tier system based on the number of tokens that you are staking. So once again, you would need to buy and stake your tokens. Lottery tiers will receive a share of 20%, and the rest of the 80% will be reserved for guaranteed allocations based on their pool weights, which are assigned below. So if you don't have a guaranteed allocation spot, you are fighting for the remaining 20% of the tokens that would be available on launch, and you can see the different number of lottery tickets that you would get based on how many tokens you hold. This one, I'm not sure exactly how it reflects the percentage chances you have of winning, like it did with DAO Maker when we went over that one. It showed you the percentage chances you had of winning very nicely, but obviously the more tokens you hold, the better chance you have of winning a potential allocation. When you get down to the lower tiers here, or the higher tiers I guess, but higher amount of tokens, lower on the page, you get to see that with Platinum, so 10,000 tokens, you do get a guaranteed allocation, and then 25,000 and 75,000, you still get a guaranteed allocation. Nothing really changes except for the pool weight. So you could potentially be earning a higher percentage of that pool, of that 80% that is reserved for these guaranteed allocations. You would have the opportunity to get a higher percentage of that pool. What's also interesting here is that if the first round, called the allocation round, that's the one that we were just talking about there, if it is not sold out, then they go to a second round, or round 2 here. This is all unsold tokens from the first round, which comes at a first come, first served basis, and only the guaranteed tiers, so Platinum and above, would be able to purchase during this round, and they say typically this only lasts a couple minutes, because a lot of these people obviously have quite a bit of capital, I would say, at this point in time, and they would scoop up the remaining tokens quite quickly. So on their page, you can come to the staking tab. This is where you would go and connect your wallet, just a regular Binance Smart Chain wallet. MetaMask is what is preferred over here. So you'd connect your wallet. You would make sure that you have some BSCPAD in that wallet. You would then deposit it in here, and then obviously you need some BNB for transactions, and then it would show you what you have eligible to stake, and you can earn a 15% APY on whatever you're staking there as well. So that is also an added bonus. Once you are staking, then you are eligible to partake in all of these different projects. So click on the projects tab here. You can see that there are none currently open. There are a couple coming up here, so by all means do your own research into those ones. And then you could take a look at all of the different closed projects as well. There was one that launched fairly recently that did quite well. So as you can see here, the Meta VPAD This one, for one Binance US dollar, you received 1,000 Meta V tokens. So like I said, I know this is just one project that did really, really well. So for one BUSD, you got 1,000 Meta V tokens. The price was $0.001 or 1/10 of a cent, and it is now worth 30 cents. So that would be a quick 300x on your money on that one. Once again, just emphasizing how good Launchpad can be for you. Obviously, there are a lot of different projects that they have launched. As we can see here, there's 12 on each page, and they have 10 total pages. So they've launched close to 120 projects now, and that would be a lot to go through just to verify if they were all good. But here you can see that IOs was another one, and IOs is one that I think a coin that I've talked about before very briefly, but it's basically a decentralized version of YouTube, and I do think that one could perform very well as well. So that's honestly only two projects that I looked at very quickly, but they do have a couple of pretty good projects that have launched. So if we just take a quick look at IOs as well for a second example, that one launched at 66.66 per BUSD, so that means it launched at 1.5 cents. When you come on over to something like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, take a look. This one I know isn't as good, but we do get, I think, some sort of gains, absolutely. So it is now trading at 31, almost 32 cents. So you divide that 0.317 divided by what the launch price was, and you get over a 20x, 21x on the IOs network. So there's a 20x token, there was one that was a 300x. Those are just two examples. By all means, come on in here and look at how the rest of them have done. Those were just two that I know that have done pretty well. Well, let's do a couple more. Raise Network. This one launched for 1 BUSD, got you 10 raise, so that's 10 cents per raise token. And you can see right here, this one has not profited yet, but let's see, at the max point, it would have. So this is very common for what happens with tokens, like I've mentioned a few times before. So you would have gotten into the pre-sale, and then there was when it launches, there's a lot of hype and excitement. So these people would have gotten in for 10 cents, right? And then it pumps up to $1.20, $1.30, like it did here. That's a quick 12 to 13x or over a 10x from wherever they were able to buy in, and then they sell. So this happens a lot of the time. You make a quick dollar and then they sell, and now we are in this phase where if it is a good project, if it does have something long term that it could work on. I haven't looked into this project at all, but this is the time when it would be better for you to buy in now. Quite often the launch is not the best idea because, like I said, that's when it has the most hype around it. Then it comes off, everyone's taking their profits. Now it would be a better time to buy in, obviously, than back here, because this is when the hype is usually all died down and the developers are hopefully working on the project, developing partnerships, stuff like that. So now would be the time to start dollar cost averaging if you thought this was a good project. Not saying it is. Also not saying it isn't. It's just something that I have not looked into. So there you have it, team. There is a quick look at BSCPAD. As we can see from the stats so far, it is the lowest barrier to entry for a guaranteed allocation anyway. They have launched a couple of very successful projects so far that today are doing quite well, and some that aren't doing as well, but definitely when they launched, they gave their holders a pretty good return. And so far, in my opinion, this one is definitely the easiest or most accessible ones. Like I said, I'm not sure about all the other projects that they've launched. Perhaps they haven't done quite as well, but in the examples that we looked at their all-time highs, they did do quite well, and the barrier to entry is not quite as much. So if you got some value out of this video, please scroll on down, leave a thumbs up, and then hit that subscribe button, and select that notification bell and click all so you get notified for when I post these new videos. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I'll see you next time on the next episode from the Crypto Cabin.